Welcome to the realm of intoxicating flavors and head-banging beer reviews.
Welcome to another episode of the Rare Beer Club. I'm your host, the Ginger Yeti. If you're new to the channel, the Rare Beer Club is a subscription club put out by the beerofthemonthclub.com. I receive a box every month that contains two hand-selected beers. Well, it used to contain two hand-selected beers that came in bomber bottles. Now it contains two hand-selected beers that sometimes come in cans, and they give me two of each can. It costs me about $60 a month. I unbox the beers and select one to review blindly, and then I review the second one in another video. So if you saw the last one I did, Kodiak, that's why I did the unboxing, the giant box I had, and it was cans of beer. And they used to provide paperwork that talked about the beers, but now they just provide this here with a QR code to talk about the beers. So the beer I have, first of all, is the Black Miso. It's from Japas Cervejaria, which hopefully I'm pronouncing that right now. I believe it's Japas. And they're out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. However, on Untappd, it says it's a collaboration, but I don't see anything anywhere in the other notes that say it's a collaboration. So I'm not sure if it is or not, but Untappd says it's a collaboration with Cervejaria Dadiva. I don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm not sure on that. Untappd claims it's a collaboration, but so far I've not seen anything in the write-up about this collaboration. So here's the can here. It's just a picture, Black Miso, of like Black Miso. This is a 11.5% alcohol Russian Imperial stout with miso. I don't think I've ever had a beer with miso in it. And on the can here it says, "Please peel off my label and recycle me, thanks." Product of the USA, which that's interesting. We'll get to that in a minute. Miso, one of the great specialties of Japanese cuisine, is a paste made from the fermentation of soybeans and sea salt. Red miso is a variety that is fermented for a longer time and further enhances umami and flavor, giving our beer a unique touch. Black miso is the perfect match between this Russian Imperial stout, smooth and licorice. What is licorice? Licorous. Is that licorice? Maybe it's licorice. My education is terrible. And a generous addition of miso, a combination of complex and powerful flavors in perfect balance. Japanese Brazilian women brewers. It's brewed and canned by Japas Cervejaria, and it says Louisville, Kentucky. We'll get into that in a minute. So the Rare Beer Club used to provide paperwork. Now they just provide this little card, apparently, for both beers, and a QR code to scan to go to the write-up about the beer. So on the card it says, a Russian Imperial Stout brewed with red miso paste, creating a unique synergy between deep roasted malt and a profound savory umami character. The aroma is a complex blend of dark chocolate, fresh coffee, and earthy sweetness. On the palate, flavors of toffee and a touch of licorice. Okay, so it says licorice here. It's licorice spelled the way I know how to spell licorice. Touch of licorice are supported by a full velvety body and a long warming finish. This contemplative beer comes from a Brazilian brewery celebrated for its creative fusion of Japanese and Brazilian culinary traditions in every sip. When I was in Helsinki, I actually had a licorice beer that was very tasty. Wonder if this is going to be like that. So once I scan the QR code, and I'll try to remember to put that QR code up there. Well, actually, I'm going to try to put the link to this write-up here in the description of the video. I don't know how long they keep these write-ups up on their website, though. So the beer specs, it's 11.5%, 16 ounce. Serving temperature is 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a snifter tulip glass. And we go to the brewery here. Japas Cervejaria Artisanal is a unique union of four Brazilian Sansei, which is third-generation Japanese who were born in a new country of residence. The rise of Japas Cervejaria, a brewery founded by this talented group of women in Brazil, is a testament to both their brewing expertise and their passion for showcasing Japanese culture through craft beer. Since launching their first beer, Wasabiru, an American pale ale infused with wasabi, I would love to find that, in 2014, they have continued to craft beer that blend Japanese ingredients with traditional brewing techniques. Their innovative approach has introduced unique flavors to the Brazilian craft beer scene, such as yuzu, matcha, and sake yeast, making their beers both exotic and approachable. What sets Japas apart is their dedication to using Japanese elements as inspiration for their brewing, which not only adds complexity to their beers, but also celebrates their heritage. As pioneers in both representing women and Japanese culture in the craft beer world, they are carving a distinct path and gaining widespread recognition in the ever-changing global beer industry. Their rapid ascent in Brazil's craft beer community reflects their ability to balance creativity and drinkability, and their beers have become symbols of innovation in craft brewing. So here's why it says Kentucky, and why I'm wearing this shirt right here. To reach a wider audience, especially North America, they have teamed up with the eclectic Against the Grain Brewery in Louisville, Kentucky, to brew small batches of their different offerings with distribution. So far limited to a handful of major U.S. markets, and that's how you get the limited release here through the Rare Beer Club. So now you have a little bit of history about this brewery. I think I've had a couple of their beers before. I know I've had a couple of their beers before. I don't remember if I got them from the Rare Beer Club, or if I found them at Total Wine and More or somewhere else in my travels and bought them. So let's get on to the aging and pairing notes. Let's get on to the tasting notes. Japas Cervejaria's Black Miso pours a deep, opaque black with a dense mocha brown head that lingers and leaves elegant lacing with each swirl. The aroma is captivating. Rich espresso and dark chocolate lead the way, soon joined by umami depth from the Japanese miso. So let's open this up and see if I can pick these things out. While I'm doing this, I looked it up. On Untappd, this gets a 3.78 with 2.2 thousand check-ins. On Beer Advocate, it gets a 90 outstanding with 71 check-ins. It's definitely an oily black. So what am I supposed to smell here? The aroma is captivating. Rich espresso and dark chocolate. I am getting some dark chocolate. Lead the way, soon joined by umami depth from the Japanese miso. Maybe there is something there that I am totally unfamiliar with. It's out of my wheelhouse on the nose. Subtle notes of molasses, soy, black licorice. I think I get the molasses, definitely dark chocolate. I don't get soy, I'm not getting black licorice. And roasted nuts. No, maybe there's a hint of roasted nut in there. Mingled with hints of dried fig and caramelized sugar. I don't get the fig, but I do get the caramelized sugar. Creating a nose both indulgent and intriguing. It is intriguing for sure. The miso element lends a savory backbone that enhances rather than dominates, weaving seamlessly into the roasted malt complexity. The nose is very complex. It is a super inky dark black. Can't see through it at all. And it does have I guess that's a good description, a mocha brown head that lingers. Definitely lingers. It is leaving elegant lacing around the glass when I swirl it. So on to the tasting. On the palate, Black Miso unfolds with full body richness and velvety smoothness. Layers of dark chocolate, espresso, and toffee meet a faintly saline edge that heightens sweetness and adds extraordinary depth. Let's find out. Cheers, everybody. There's definitely a saltiness to it. There's a saltiness, dark chocolate, maybe some espresso, and that is really salty. I'm not a big fan of salt. I don't use a lot of salt in things I eat. That is salty. The miso provides a umami warmth that lingers through the mid palate, while roasted barley bitterness and 68 IBU of firm hop structure bring balance and lift. Despite its 11.5% ABV, the alcohol integrates gracefully. I agree with that. Leaving a warming impression without heat. Not even getting a warming impression. Finish is long, bittersweet, yes, and sophisticated. Dark cocoa, yes. Soy glaze, I don't know. Charred oak, maybe. Echoing well after the final sip. Black Miso is daring yet elegant. Russian Imperial Stout, where East meets West artistry, is expressed through the harmony of flavor and balance. I get the espresso, the chocolate, I don't know about the toffee. Not really picking up any licorice, but that is a salt bomb. That is really salty to me. Again, I don't like salt. Don't use a lot of salt in my food. I don't salt things. And that is a lot of salt. That is very salty. To me, that's like drinking seawater. Oh. Check out the aging and pairing notes. Black Miso is a beer built for contemplation and cellar aging. With its substantial body and 11% ABV, it will evolve gracefully over 3 to 5 years, softening its roast character while amplifying sherry-like notes of dried fruit. God, I can still taste that salt. Lean into savory or richly sweet dishes that echo its complexity. Braised short ribs with miso glaze, soy ginger duck, or grilled steak brushed with teriyaki butter all resonate beautifully with the beer's roasted and salty sweet tones. That is a salt bomb. That is so overly salty to me. Like, I'm not gonna be able to finish this beer. This is just way too salty to me. Like I said, it tastes like drinking seawater. The coca's there, like some of the other flavors are there. They're really tasty, but then that salty finish is just over the top. It's like sucking on salt rocks. That salt is not for me. Maybe if you like salty beers or really into salt, or your palate's a little blind to salt, you would like this beer. But this is going to be a skip for me, which is super rare on the Rare Beer Club, because the Rare Beer Clubs are generally their beers are generally phenomenal. And this is probably a really well done beer. It hits the marks on all those flavors, but that salt, it just kills it. I cannot deal with that salt. That is way too salty for me. It's just, the salt is a no-go for me. It's a killer for me. This is going to be, I hate to say this, because I think I've enjoyed the other beers from this brewery, but this is so salty to me that this is going to be a sink pour. And it's not that the beer is bad. I don't mean it in any way like that the beer is bad. It's just the salt is just overpowering to me, and I can't drink it. It's just too salty for me. I can still, as I'm talking, I can still taste the salt. It really tastes like I took rock salt, and I've been sucking on rock salt. Yeah, unfortunately for me, this is just way too salty. If you ever get your chance to try this beer or find this beer and you don't mind salt, or you like to put lots of salt on your food, definitely give it a go. If you're wanting something interesting and different, I don't know what you would pay for it on the shelf. It's a wild beer. It's very complex. It is just a salt bomb to me, and I can't drink it. If you've had this beer, if you've found it somewhere, if you've tried it, let me know if I got it wrong. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad beer in any sense of the imagination, but for me personally, it's just way too salty. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, embrace the adventure.